Hi there, it's Dovdas, Favro Senior Product Expert.
And I'm Patrick, founder and CEO at Favro. And now we're going to show you how you can use throughput metrics to get radically more accurate estimations for your projects. So what's the problem? Well, the problem is that teams typically use tools like JIRA, Asana, Monday, any of the typical ones that teams have used before moving to Favro, to break down into tiny little tasks or subtasks, and then have the team put in estimates that you then aggregate up. And that gives you a very specific estimate, but it gives you a false sense of precision. Normally, those estimates are actually very wrong. They're not very accurate. The solution to this is something called throughput metrics. You want to move from managing those piles of tickets into a much more flow-based approach, which Favro is entirely designed for. And now we're going to show you in practice what this looks like using Favro control charts. So in front of us, we have a team with their workflow where it goes from to do, to doing, review, ready for launch, and then done. And all of these work items are coming from a backlog that we're going to look at now. And in the backlog, this could be a list of features, objectives, tasks, stories, whatever is the way you structure your increments of work. And you can have a hierarchy, but just for simplicity, we skip that now. And if I take here card 1000, I simply just click and drag that over to my team board. And this is how I commit it. But now we're going to look at what this flow results in terms of a control chart.
By simply switching the view into the dashboards, we can have multiple control charts ready and set up to showcase the data. So here we can see a control chart with detailed information through a period of time. Bubbles representing cards and how long they've spent in each specific stage. You have rolling average line showcasing what was the average at specific dates, and also standard deviation.
And let's say that we want to look at something different than the whole workflow. We just want to have a part of the workflow. In this particular case, it might be how long does it take to go from something being in progress to that it's ready for launch.
In this case, we can add another control chart that we have set up to show different statuses that we're going through the process. So that's doing and review. That means the card has gone through these stages and exited into the ready for launch. Now, here we can then see how long it took for those cards to be from in progress to ready to launch.
And the thing which is very interesting here is to look at that median number that you can see there. And here it says 2 days. So for something to go from being worked on to it's ready for launch, the median time there is 2 days. And if we scroll up to the control chart for the whole flow, we can see that it is 4 days in median. So what you can do now is that you can use this number, the 4 days, when you're doing your estimation. So if we move back here and look at our backlog, we actually have two good alternatives here. One is that we simply use 4 days as the metric for how long this takes, and we can simply use that, or we can call it out and just put in 4 here. So we actually have that put in for all of these. So now, boom, we got 4 days here in our estimated ideal days. So that number that we were putting in the backlog here was coming from the empirical data we have from our control chart, instead of having teams spending time putting in estimates that typically aren't that accurate anyways. So this saves everyone a lot of time. It gives much more agency to the team members. It saves time for the team manager. And ultimately, you also have estimates that are much more accurate.